Okay, so you're interested in Ainos Inc., right? Specifically their work on Sjogren syndrome.
Yeah.
Buckle up because they've just made a move that could be absolutely huge for patients and for their stock. We're talking about a major partnership.
Yeah, a major partnership that has everyone buzzing. Ainos, a company specializing in AI-driven diagnostics and low-dose interferon treatment, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku, a subsidiary of the pharmaceutical giant Mitsubishi Tanabe Pharma Corporation.
Whoa, subsidiary of a giant. That
Yeah.
sounds serious.
It is.
But let's back up for a second. I know you're following this company. But for anyone else tuning in, Sjogren syndrome is a tough autoimmune disease. It basically tricks your body into attacking its own moisture-producing glands.
Yeah.
This means a lot of people suffer from severely dry eyes and mouth, and existing treatments aren't always that effective.
You're right. It can be incredibly debilitating. And it affects millions worldwide. That's where Ainos drug Veldona comes in. It uses a low-dose oral interferon alpha formulation.
Interesting.
Think of it like a carefully calibrated signal flare that helps your immune system better recognize and target the cells causing the inflammation without the harsh side effects you might get from older treatments.
So it's not just masking the symptoms.
Right.
It's actually addressing the underlying issue.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the results from clinical trials have been impressive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Veldona has not only shown it can alleviate those awful symptoms and improve patients' quality of life, but it seems to actually slow down the progression of the disease itself.
That's huge.
Yeah.
But hold on, they're not just handing out this miracle drug yet, right?
Right. This MOU is all about getting Veldona out there into the hands of patients as quickly and effectively as possible.
I see.
That's where Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku comes in. They have a ton of experience in pharmaceutical development and navigating the complex world of drug manufacturing and regulations, especially in the Asian market.
So it's like Ainos has the groundbreaking treatment, and Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku has the roadmap to get it to the people who need it.
Yes, it's a perfect match of expertise.
Okay.
And the timing couldn't be better.
Really?
The global market for Sjogren syndrome treatments is projected to reach billions of dollars in the next few years. With this partnership, Veldona is poised to capture a significant share of that market.
So if I'm understanding this right, this MOU is not just good news for patients.
Right.
It's potentially a game changer for Ainos as a company too, right?
Absolutely. This partnership validates their work, strengthens their position in the healthcare sector, and paves the way for even more growth.
Now, we know that Ainos Inc. isn't a one-trick pony.
Right.
They've got other interesting projects in their pipeline.
Yes. Remember that rapid COVID-19 test kit and cloud-based test management platform we were talking about?
Uh-huh.
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, let's dive into that. What else is Ainos working on that has you so intrigued?
Well, there are two things in particular that I think you'll find fascinating.
Okay.
First, there's their work on a pneumonia treatment that's showing a lot of promise.
Interesting.
And then there's this thing called the AI nose.
The AI nose.
Yes.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Okay, now you have to tell me more about that.
Okay. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel.
Right. Yep.
But it's actually based on some pretty amazing science.
Okay.
Imagine a device that can analyze the tiny molecules in your breath,
Uh-huh.
kind of like a digital sniffer dog, to detect signs of disease.
So you're saying it can literally smell sickness?
Yeah,
That's mind-blowing.
it is.
How does that even work?
It leverages the power of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
They've trained algorithms to recognize specific patterns of volatile organic compounds in your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Those are chemicals we all exhale. And these patterns can act as unique fingerprints for various diseases.
So it's like the AI has learned what different diseases smell like at a molecular level.
Exactly. And the implications are huge.
Like what?
Imagine being able to diagnose conditions like lung cancer or even Parkinson's disease early on just by breathing into a device.
That could be a game changer in terms of early diagnosis and treatment.
For sure.
Can save countless lives.
It has the potential to revolutionize healthcare as we know it.
Yeah.
And Ainos is right at the forefront of this technology.
Okay, so we've got the AI nose. We've
Yeah.
got a promising new pneumonia treatment.
Uh-huh.
And of course, we've got Veldona, which could be a breakthrough for Sjogren syndrome.
Yeah.
It's clear that Ainos is a company with a lot going on.
Yeah, they've got a lot going on.
But let's go back to that MOU with Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku for a minute.
Okay.
Why is this partnership so crucial for Veldona's success?
Well, there are a few key reasons.
Okay.
First, Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku has the infrastructure and expertise to scale up manufacturing of Veldona. Ainos, being a smaller, more research-focused company, wouldn't have the same capacity on their own.
So it's like Ainos has created the masterpiece, and now they've brought in a skilled artisan to help them create hundreds, even thousands of perfect replicas.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, cool.
And the second key reason is market access. Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku has a strong presence in the Asian market and well-established relationships with healthcare providers and regulatory bodies.
Okay.
They know how to navigate those systems and get Veldona into the hands of patients quickly and efficiently.
It sounds like they've thought this through very carefully. It's not just a matter of developing a great drug.
Right.
It's about getting it to the people who need it. And this partnership seems like a smart way to do just that.
Absolutely. And the MOU lays out a clear plan for collaboration with each company, bringing its unique strengths to the table.
Okay.
It's a win-win situation for everyone involved, especially the patients.
Okay, so everything sounds amazing on paper.
Yeah.
But we all know the world of pharmaceuticals can be tricky.
It can be very tricky.
What are some of the potential challenges Ainos and Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku might face in getting Veldona to market?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
One hurdle is always the regulatory landscape. Every country has its own approval process, and that can be a complex and time-consuming maze to navigate.
Right.
It requires a lot of paperwork, clinical trials, and back and forth with regulatory agencies.
So it's not just about having a good drug.
Right.
It's about proving it's safe and effective to the satisfaction of multiple governments.
Exactly.
Okay.
And even once you get approval in one country, you have to go through the whole process again in the next.
Oh, God.
It can be a long and expensive journey.
And even if everything goes smoothly on the regulatory front, what about getting doctors to actually prescribe Veldona?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And will insurance companies be willing to cover it?
Those are critical factors.
Yeah.
A lot will depend on the data that comes out of the large-scale global clinical trials that are in the works.
Okay.
The more data they have to demonstrate Veldona's safety and efficacy, the easier it will be to convince doctors and insurance companies that it's worth prescribing and covering.
So it sounds like the next big milestone we should be watching for is the completion of those trials and the publication of the results.
Absolutely. That will be a major turning point for Veldona and for Ainos.
Okay, so for our listeners who are wondering, what does all this mean for me?
Right.
What should they be paying attention to?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
If you're interested in investing in companies that are pushing the boundaries of healthcare innovation, Ainos is a company you should definitely be following.
Okay.
They're not afraid to take risks and invest in cutting-edge technologies, and they're clearly committed to developing treatments for conditions that desperately need new options.
That commitment to innovation really sets them apart.
Yes.
It's not just about profits, it's about making a real difference in people's lives.
Right.
And from what we've seen today, they're doing just that.
They are.
Now remember, we've only scratched the surface of what Ainos is all about.
Right.
We've touched on their work with the AI nose the pneumonia treatment, of course Veldona, and the groundbreaking partnership with Taiwan Tanabe Seiyaku. But there's so much more to explore.
There is.
You've definitely piqued my curiosity.
Good.
So what else is there to discover about Ainos?
Well, you mentioned earlier that Ainos isn't putting all their eggs in one basket.
Right.
They've got a diverse portfolio, which is always a good sign in a sector as unpredictable as healthcare.
You're absolutely right. In addition to the projects we've already discussed, Ainos is also involved in developing AI-powered diagnostic tools for a range of conditions. They're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI in healthcare.
They are.
So they're not just treating diseases, they're working on ways to detect them earlier and more accurately.
Right.
That's a whole other level of innovation.
Exactly. Think about it this way.
Okay.
The earlier you can detect a disease, the better the chances of successful treatment.
Makes sense.
Ainos is working on tools that could help doctors identify diseases like cancer or Alzheimer's in their earliest stages.
Wow.
When interventions are most likely to be effective.
That's incredible. It's like they're not just playing the game.
Right.
They're changing the rules of the game entirely.
That's a great way to put it. And that's what makes them such an exciting company to watch.
Yeah.
They're not content with the status quo. They're constantly pushing the envelope and exploring new possibilities.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to our listener.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the groundbreaking Veldona partnership to the mind-blowing AI nose.
We have.
If you had to sum it all up in one takeaway, what would it be?
I'd say this. Ainos is a company that's not afraid to dream big and pursue those dreams with relentless passion and innovation.
Yeah, I like that.
They're not just developing products, they're creating a future where healthcare is more personalized, proactive, and effective.
And for anyone listening who's thinking about investing in the future of healthcare,
Yes.
Ainos is a company that should definitely be on your radar.
Absolutely.
They're making bold moves, taking calculated risks, and showing a genuine commitment to improving lives.
Couldn't agree more.
And here's one final thought to ponder. If Ainos can achieve even a fraction of what they've set out to do, the impact on healthcare could be truly transformative.
It could.
We could be on the cusp of a new era in medicine, and Ainos is leading the charge. It's a journey worth following, and I, for one, can't wait to see what they do next.
Me too.